Gentleman from Jefferson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, ladies and gentlemen. House Bill 3 has been in the works for 2 years now, and it all started for me, and I'll just be brief on this. Everybody says I'm full of anecdotes, and sometimes you need antidotes. I was sitting watching TV, and a cop that I knew was on the TV, and he said that, in short, that he arrested a juvenile with a stolen car, lots of drugs in it, and stolen guns. He was arrested, and that was on a Tuesday, and Friday he was out and he killed a man in his driveway. And I thought that was really horrible. Then just within a week or so after that, there was a lady in my district who was carjacked. And I know that carjacking is a federal term, and I was told just use the word robbery 1 and assault 1. So that's what happened to that lady. She was pushed into a ditch. They took her car, and now to this day she won't even come out of her apartment. She's just terrified of what might happen. So it was time to do something as her representative, and this is when I started looking into House Bill 3. I did a lot of research with police and social workers, and I've talked to many, many people, some right in this chamber. We had an informal committee, and we covered a lot of ground. So House Bill 3, for the most part, was passed by this chamber last year with, I think, 74 votes. And then it died in the Senate. And I'll briefly go over what it did. Many of you have already voted for this. One thing it'll do is, when there's a diversion program in the juvenile justice system, there are diversion programs that try to keep children out of jails, detention. And in the diversion program, if it is found that the parent is not cooperating, especially on truancy with the diversion program, then the parents can be called in front of the judge and answer to the judge. And there could be penalties. Could be. It's not necessarily a mandate. There could be penalties. We all know that how important parents are to the children of Kentucky. Number 2, it's going to open up for those that commit violent crimes, and now I'm talking about violent. This is murder, manslaughter, robbery, assault, rape, sexual assault. That's all this bill deals with. And if they are adjudicated, which means convicted, their records will be unsealed for 3 years. And if they stay clean for 3 years, it'll seal back up. And the third thing it does is a child that is arrested for one of the violent crimes I just mentioned, they will be detained up to a maximum of 48 hours. Now, that doesn't mean that they will be in the jail for 48 hours. That could be 15 minutes, just up to 48 hours. Don't come back and say just all we want to do is lock them up and throw away the key. That is not what this bill is doing, and I've heard that over and over again. This bill, the 48-hour hold, is to do 2 things. 1, it is to make sure that the juvenile stands before a judge in a detention hearing. As soon as the detention hearing can occur, then it's up to the judge and the system to decide what's best for that juvenile. And the second thing it does is does an assessment, a health assessment, a medical assessment. And I'm going to quickly yield to an expert in that. The lady from Kenton 64, I'm going to yield to her